Your life.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Zero Emissions Demo Day. The Demo Day today is presented by the Startup Buddy and the Zero Emissions Fund. And for those who don't know me yet, I'm the founder of both Robin Turnings. The Startup Buddy, some of you might not be familiar with yet. So the Startup Buddy is an online acceleration and fundraising platform for entrepreneurs and investors. Through our online accelerator, we help new entrepreneurs learn how to build a business from scratch, get to the stage of being investable by having traction, having a team, having a minimum viable project, and then connecting you to investors. Our vision is to help at least 10,000 sustainable companies grow in the next 5 years entirely through our online platform. Next year is going to be a very exciting next step for us, because then we plan to become an equity trading platform, meaning that the Startup Buddy will allow you to raise funding entirely online through the Startup Buddy platform. Some of you have already seen our Startup Stock Exchange that I will show you in a minute, and that will evolve into really a platform where you can IPO your company and where investors can invest. We're doing this together with the Zero Emissions Fund, a new fund which we're going to launch in April, which I'm going to tell you a lot more about later on during the program. But we have a very full program for today. So for now, I'm keeping it very short. We have also a lot of other events that we do every month. So we have Founders Fusion. The next one will be again in December. And we have demo days very regularly. So if you like today's event, please join for future events as well. You can always find the upcoming ones on our website. So what's the program for today? Like I said, we have a very busy program. So we'll have two companies pitch today. Trust me, they're both super interesting. The first one will be Nexus Power from India, which will be presented by Nishita, the CEO and co-founder of Nexus Power. Then in between the pitches and the speakers, you will have one-to-one meetings between startups and investors. So all of you hopefully have received about half an hour ago a schedule in which you can see what for now the program is based on the matching we did until half an hour ago. How those rounds of individual meetings will work, I will tell you after the first pitch by Nishita. Then I will tell you much more about the Zero Emissions Fund, which I'm going to be very proud to present to you what it is and why we're doing it. Then we'll have another round of meetings. Then we'll have our second pitch by EcoWorth Tech, a company based here in Singapore, which will be presented by Andre. There's a little mistake here in the program. My apologies for that. So then we will have round 3 of meetings. And then after that, we will have our final speaker, Andrew Cullen from Air Carbon Exchange. He will share a lot there is to know about carbon credits. We thought that's a topic that a lot of people talk about today. He's very knowledgeable about that, and he's going to share about what carbon credits are, how they work, and how they are interesting for both startups and investors. At the end of the program, there will be open networking. So I'm sure there's going to be investors that you had wanted to meet, or there's going to be startups that you had wanted to meet. Unfortunately, we only have 3 rounds of speed dating that we matched for you. But if you stay to the open networking, then you can hopefully still catch everybody that you didn't get matched up with earlier and that you still want to catch. So that's going to be the program. It's 5:15, so we're going to get into the fun part of the program right away, which is the first pitch for today. Nishita, can you come on the stage, please, if you aren't already, because I can see that.
Yep. Hi. I'm here.
Give me 1 second. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Are you ready for your pitch?
Yes, very much. So I'll just take a second to put my deck on, and then we can get started.
Great. In the meantime, while Nishita is getting ready for her pitch, there will be time for a Q&A with her and also with the other people getting on the stage. So anyone, if you during her pitch come up with, hey, I really want to ask her this, make sure to put it in the Q&A, which you see on the right side of your screen. So with that, Nishita, if you're ready, you can start sharing your screen and start your pitch.
Sure. Just a moment. I hope my screen is visible.
Yeah, it's visible
Right.
and you're
Thank you.
audible.
So we're good to go.
You are.
Thank you. So, yeah, so a good day to one and all present here, and thank you for this opportunity. So, I represent Nexus Power as the co-founder and the CEO, and with me, my co-founder and my CIO, Chief Innovation Officer Nikita. So, we are co-founders for Nexus Power, and at Nexus, we are building a biodegradable fast charge battery for electric vehicle out of crop residue, and I'll tell you more about why we got into this in the flow through from here. So a little bit about us and why we got in here. So me and my sister Nikita, we are both electric vehicle enthusiasts and EV automotives and machine enthusiasts, and we really wanted to build technology that would have a make in India impact and uh, address concerns which are majorly the bigger concerns why EVs are not being adopted in India even today even after the buzz has been for such a long time. So, by qualification and my background, I am a management graduate with a master's certification from IIT Madras in electric vehicles, semiconductors, and design of mechatronic systems. And besides that, I'm also a semi-qualified CA, chartered accountant. And my co-founder is typically the backbone for our research. She's a master's certification in nanotechnology for energy storage and energy generation from IIT Roorkee, which is typically the main part of our research and the product that we are building. And besides that, she's also done her management in strategic innovation from IIM Bangalore and a couple of other business management certifications from XIM Bhubaneswar, Xavier Institute of Management. And besides us, we have a team of doctorate scholars who had 7+ years of experience in the battery chemistry space, which includes the electrodes, the electrolyte, and all the various structural elements that goes into making a cell. So that's the power pack team that backs Nexus. So moving forward, the main reason why we got into the entire electric vehicle battery industry is we highlighted a couple of problems in the lithium-ion battery which we thought were majorly important to be answered to. And one of the major problems that we saw was the fire and the safety concerns. So we've had a lot of news coming up recently about batteries burning out and exploding, which is leading to a lot of problems. And the reason is because the lithium-ion batteries have a significant temperature range in which they operate, and sometimes when there are slight errors beyond that temperature range, they turn to explode or blast, or if there are minor short circuits, these batteries blast. So it gets difficult to adapt to a space which has safety concerns. And more so, if you look at the entire structure, the way lithium ion batteries are built, they are typically toxic in nature. So once the battery life cycle is over, which is about 3.5, 4 years, the battery does not have any proper recycling technique, and there is no way that we can dispose it in a very controlled manner. So it leads to a lot of pollution and obviously very hazardous to human health. And topping all of this, because lithium is a rare earth material and all the other elements that go into the battery are rare earth, the price of the battery automatically gets expensive. And if you compare that to the existing vehicles right now, the price has a tad difference, which makes it difficult for the adoption. And that's how the entire idea of a battery which could answer these alternate concerns came in, and that's where Nexus came into the picture. So Nexus batteries are purely from earth abundant materials. We are building it out of crop residue. Now this crop residue was actually also being burned by the farmers after they're harvesting their crop. So we are not letting them burn this, again controlling pollution levels there. We're procuring this residue to build our batteries out of it. So we are extracting the proteins, and then we have a protein and carbon composite material which makes the battery. So that's the entire structure. So we have 3.2 volt cells, which in the parallel and series combinations makes the desired 48 volt, 60 volt battery packs that typically go into the two-wheeler and three-wheeler EVs. And in terms of performance, we are very much safe because the batteries don't tend to explode. They are not reactive. They are very eco-friendly. They are safe. They are also cheaper because of the abundance of availability of the material and the easier manufacturing process. Yeah. Moving forward, a little bit of comparison of how we stand with our competitors across the globe. So we've listed down a couple of such competitors, including different chemistries from across the globe: aluminum, air, sodium ion, silicon based, graphene based batteries. And that's how we've compared Nexus's peptide crystal battery with the other batteries. And it's pretty much in terms of energy density, the charging time, the life cycle of the battery, the safety, the cost. So Nexus typically stands out in all of these parameters that we've mentioned here, and we have IP to highlight. So we have provisional patents in India, and we've also done our US patent search. We are very much patentable in US as well, and we are now applying for multiple more patents in India as well as globally to hold the entire technology exclusively for us, and it's proprietary to us. So we would like to hold the entire IP with us. Besides that, we also have the trademarks, and we are looking forward to filing copyrights, which would allow us to hold the entire manufacturing process and avoid any possible replications. So if I discuss about the traction that we've gained so far, so we've been able to touch base with 7, 8 of these two-wheeler and three-wheeler electric vehicle manufacturers, which are our major target zone for now, and they have been interested to do pilots with us of these batteries. So we are inching very close to starting our battery pilots, the paid pilots. So we have a timeline of second quarter of 2022, which is roughly around April is when we start off with our battery trials with these bigger OEMs across India. And then eventually we would like to try global opportunities as well. So in terms of the requirement, we are looking at a year-on-year growth of 18%, and a battery maker per OEM would have about 50K batteries requirement, which is about 1 lakh kilowatt hours of battery requirements per manufacturer. And if we calculate with the numbers, it's almost about 700,000 kilowatt hours of battery requirement in the industry, and it's a huge $50 billion industry that we're catering to. So in terms of a revenue model, that's very simple and straight. We'll be selling our battery cells and the complete battery packs to build our revenues and build the company. So, just a little brief of our timelines and how we'll take it forward. So, we are looking at a 2024 mass production launch, and until then, we would like to apply for more patents, better the R&D, have the final product ready, and do our pilots. So, we also build strategic partnerships during that time with the EV OEMs and improve the product, and completely be ready by 2024, and then look at 200 crore plus revenues by 2027. So that's how we are looking at our timeline. As of now, we are looking to raise about 360K USD, which would help us conduct the market trials and the paid POCs, and also improve the R&D, build the team a bit, and take the strategic partnerships with OEMs forward. So just to quickly close up here and a little highlight, we are a Forbes under 30 company, both India and Asia, and so we've also been highlighted by majority of these Indian and global media houses, including Entrepreneur India, MG Changemakers, Circuit Digest, Car Dekho, Vogue, and also a typical highlight for the software technology parks of India. So they have a program under the ESDM, Electronic Storage Device Manufacturing uh, initiative under the software technology parks, and we've also been highlighted by them for our work, and we're also associated with different startup initiatives for Startup India and Startup Orissa, and the Government of India grants that helps us go ahead and build our R&D. So that's more so about Nexus, and we do have a tested prototype that we've been working upon. And so that's a more an overview pitch about Nexus, and I'll be happy to answer questions if any. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nishita. I really, really like what Nexus Power is working on, and also that you're adapting your company so much to the country where you're based in, making use of the waste, the agricultural waste which is available, and making a really innovative product out of that. If anyone has a question, please put it in the Q&A. I'm pretty sure there should be questions. From your perspective, Nishita, for the fundraising that you're doing currently for your company, can you elaborate a little bit on what would be your ideal investor or partner to join into building Nexus Power?
So yeah, very much so. In terms of the investment and the kind of partnerships we are looking there, we would like to partner with investors who ideally share the same ideology and the space of looking into zero emissions and being a more sustainable, clean tech and a clean energy space. So we look into investors who are interested in battery technologies in the EV industry, clean tech space specifically, and green energy storage. So that's basically the industry we are catering to. A little bit of agri tech as well, but more like a clean tech that we look into.
Okay.
And if you look into the technology that we are looking into, then it's also deep tech. So we'll also, that's the entire arena that we would be interested to have investors.
And in terms of growing your company, once you raise the funding and you can expand the team, is it difficult for you to really expand your team, or do you already have a big network of people that you know that you can work together with on this technology?
So it's both ways actually. While we do have a certain number of people we know that we can work with in future, we'd also want to broaden our horizons and see if there are more possible collaborations. So it's both ways. We do have a set of people we can work with, and we'd be happy to get started with them immediately. At the same time, we'd also keep expanding our horizon to look for more probable and more prospective tie-ups and partnerships that would help us grow
Yeah.
together, communitively.
Okay. I think I quickly saw pop up a question. Yes. Oh, here. From David. Very cool. Are these switch out batteries for bikes and scooters?
Sorry, if you could just repeat that for me.
So the question is, are the batteries, can they be swapped out for bikes and scooters?
So we are more on the chemistry side for the battery, and if there is available infrastructure in the vehicle itself for a battery swap kind of a technology, then these batteries can be used as a swappable battery as well. So the swappable battery thing is more on the outer product designing part of it, beyond the chemistry. So we can arrange the cells and then build the outer layer, which is pretty much swappable. So that's not a concern. That can be done definitely.
Okay, now we're all of a sudden getting a lot of questions. I'm going to disappoint people because we really have to wrap up in a minute. Shaw, his question is sorry, there's another question here. How long is the pilot and what do you hope to accomplish after the pilot?
So we are typically hoping to start our pilots in the second quarter of 2022, and we would like to continue the pilots for about 6 to 7 months with different vehicle types, which includes two-wheeler electric vehicles, three-wheeler electric vehicles, and even the golf carts to start off with, and with different motor capacities. So our main aim out of the pilots is to understand the performance of the battery in the vehicle, and how much are the other ancillary parts in the vehicle impacting the battery performance. And at the same time, the couple of technology, couple of spaces that we've established in the lab, which includes the charging time, the charging cycle, the range and stuff that we've been able to establish in lab. We would like to understand how comfortable is it in different vehicles, and can we have a proper suitable range that we can provide. So that's what we're looking into from the pilots.
Okay. Thank you very much. Then final question. After that, we're not publishing more questions. Actually, we really have to continue. Sorry about that. Jahung's question: is the battery chemistry unique to your materials? So only Nexus cathode, anode, electrolyte, or compatible with existing chemistries?
So while we can actually do the mix and match part of picking up the existing electrode or the existing electrolytes, but typically because our focus is more on a biodegradable battery, so in that sense, the Nexus cathode and Nexus anode and the Nexus electrolyte actually truly makes it biodegradable. But pretty much, if we can change the electrolyte, I think that's the only thing that we could switch and use an existing electrolyte. That way, it wouldn't be biodegradable, but the battery will still definitely exist. So that's the only difference. For a fully biodegradable battery, it has to be only Nexus electrodes and electrolyte. But for a battery to exist, we can use the Nexus anode and cathode, which is where we are actually building the composite material, the fiber, and have an existing electrolyte to maybe experiment and try out the feasibility. But in terms of biodegradability, that would decrease down for sure.
Okay. I really want to thank you, Nishita, for kicking off the Zero Emissions Demo Day. I think it's very interesting, and I hope you're going to meet some very interested investors later on. With that, we have to continue to the rest of the program. So, but thank you very much for your pitch.
Thank you.
So while I'm getting my screen back up for you, I'm gonna explain you how AirMeet works a little bit, and also what else you need to know for today. So you just saw Nishita pitch Nexus Power. Her pitch and all her fundraising information can be found on the Startup Buddy if you're an investor. For startups who are here, they probably already know, but if you want to be able to share your profile with investors, make sure to go into your account and sell the virtual shares that you have there. If you do that and investors turn out to be interested in your shares, you'll be able to click the My Shares button and see which investors have actually been buying. The companies that are pitching today, so Nexus Power and EcoWorth Tech, they currently rank the highest in terms of valuation on the Startup Buddy, and that's why they get to pitch. So that's how every demo day we decide who gets to pitch. So if you want to be pitching as well, just make sure that you have a really good pitch on our platform, get yourself in front of the investors, and when they buy, you go up in the ranks and you get to pitch. So for investors, if you like either Nexus Power or any of the other companies that you talk with today, or companies you don't talk with but would like to, you can basically buy shares from those companies through the Startup Buddy. To be very clear to everybody, when you sell your shares or when you buy the shares, there's no actual transaction happening. Don't worry, your cap table is still exactly the same. So there's no legal transaction. Investors, you're not actually being charged anything. At this moment, the Startup Stock Exchange is to facilitate networking between startups and investors. That's all. And we have done that kind of in a gamified way. So investors, if you want to get in touch with any company on the platform, you can find their information through your investor account. You can buy their shares. That way they will show up in the portfolio that you have. Or you can hit the connect button and then we will get a message and put you in touch. Okay, so that's the practical part for the Startup Buddy. Then a little bit of explanation about the AirMeet platform that we're using today, because I'm assuming quite a lot of you might be new to this platform. We choose to work with AirMeet because we feel it's very good for speed dating kind of sessions like we're doing today. So when you came in earlier, you should have seen a screen like this where you saw virtual tables. And on those tables, you see logos. The logos that you see on those tables are from the investors that confirmed to join for today. They're in the schedule that I'll show you in a minute. There will be investors that are in green and that there will be investors that have no color. The reason for that is quite simple. Before we started the event, we had more investors participating than startups. So we like to ask the investors in green on the schedule to go to their tables, and the investors who don't have a color to join the table of the investor in green, which is in your schedule. To give you a very concrete example, so for example, Daniel Tan from Capvista, we like to ask you to go to your table, which should be indicated with Capvista. And then Alex from Insta Ventures, please join in and at that same table. And then Ivo Verhaag, who's from the Startup Powerhouse, he should go to the Capvista table as well. Same for Nexus Power. Nishita will be meeting 2 VCs at the same time. Ko Kuo Chin, I'm very sorry if I scramble your name, and Nancy Yadav. So you will be meeting 2 investors at the same time. During the first round of meetings, I will be doing a lot of rescheduling because I'm pretty sure there's a few people not here, and I know that also some people came in that are not in this schedule. If you're not in this schedule and you're an investor, in the first round, just join any of the tables. In the second round, hopefully by then I will have updated the program. Okay, so then for the startups, like I already said, all the startups, you should meet at least 1 or maybe 2 investors. Look for the green investor in this table and go to that table. Going to that table simply means clicking on the really small gray area which represents a chair, in case that's not clear. Then for the attendees, so we also have people joining who are either guests of the Startup Buddy or of the Zero Emissions Fund, or that joined in as attendees. There's a networking table that is a little bit down the screen, so you scroll a little bit down and then you will find a networking table. If there are tables totally free and you want to get into a one-to-one conversation, you can do that. but please don't break into the meetings between the startup and the investor, because they're on purpose one-to-one meetings. Then a few practical things. Like I said, please respect each other's private sessions. The idea is that the startup entrepreneurs and investors can go into detail about a few things and really get to know each other and see if there's mutual interest. So please don't join a session which you are not scheduled to join. You can always later on connect to each other during the open networking or via the platform. Then, as a service to us, please always make sure that you click on a chair when we don't have a public session like we're doing right now. If you're not on a virtual chair, it's very difficult for me and my team to come over to you, to talk to you, or to help you if you have any kind of issue. So I call it floating on air meet. If you don't sit on a chair, you're floating, and it's very difficult to help you figure out what's going on and to come to you. Like I said, this is, I think, our 10th edition of Demo Day. I'm sure there's people who are in the schedule and who are not here. I also know for sure that there's people here who are not on the schedule. Please have a little bit patience with us to reschedule everything. Usually after the first round, we have that solved. And then, of course, please stay for the networking at the end. There's a lot of people that you won't be meeting during the 3 rounds, but hopefully they're still there at the end, and then you can stay for as long as you like. Then there's one table which is indicated Startup Buddy. One of my team members, Darvis, will be there the entire time. So if at any point in time you're confused, you don't have somebody to meet, you don't know what to do, whatever, doesn't matter. Just join that table and then Darvis will help you out. You can also use the chat function, which is at the top of your screen. You can find my team members in there, so direct chat in there. So who's there from my team is Darvis, Sakshi, and Rohit. So if you look for one of those 3 names, they will reply to you. You can also message to me, but I'm very busy usually with the rescheduling, so I probably won't be replying much. So it's better just to contact them. They know everything as well. Like I said earlier during this shit-ass pitch, if you have a question, these events are much more fun if there's some interaction. So please hit the Q&A button and just ask anything that you'd like to know from the speakers and from the pitches. Also, use the chat function. There's like all kinds of other stuff. Try out the platform. The more you engage with us, the more fun it is for everyone. And then finally, if you have any technical issues, AirMeet's tech support is typically very good. So if you have like an issue with your microphone or with your video or with your internet, like common technical issues that we are not able to solve for you, there is a purple button with a question mark. If you go there, you get connected to AirMeet tech support, and they hopefully can help you fix it. So with that, I want to present the companies that are joining today. So quite a lot of the companies are sustainable companies today, obviously, and are part of our accelerator. I'm not going to all introduce them now for you. You can read their pitch information on the Startup Buddy, and you will be meeting them. These are the investors for today. There's actually a lot of angel investors, and we have a policy of not putting people on our screens unless they pre-approve that. But you will be meeting quite a lot of angel investors here today as well that are interested in all the various startups that are joining. Okay, with that, I want to go to meeting round 1. So one more time, the table, the program as it was looking before we started the event looks like this. So there should be a table for Awesome Ventures. Please go there. There should be a table for Show. He's actually here as an angel investor. So maybe the table is changed, but look for his name. Table for Lucas, the table for Capvista, Daniel Tan, for Nancy, Mark Inkster from Asia Sustainable Angels, the Zero Emissions Fund, of course, where you will meet Claudia, angel investor Van Leong, Vince Coley, and Chong Kok Hong. Those tables, those investors, please go to that table. The other investors join that table. And I think I've talked long enough for all the startups to find which table to go to. It's now 5:40 in Singapore. So this round will be till 1 minute past 6 in Singapore. And then you don't need to do anything. You will automatically come back here. Have